Up next, we have Marian Langan, so give her a round of applause.
Hi, everybody. Before I get going, I need to thank right off the bat amazing photographers Josef Kren, David Murphy, Russ Suchek, Mike Forsberg, and Paul Johnsgaard, who've let me use slides tonight. They'll be amazing. You'll see. I work at Spring Creek Prairie Audubon Center, and I'm going to talk to you about prairie tonight. But really, I'm standing here because when I was a kid growing up in northeast Nebraska, I got to spend huge amounts of time playing outside. One day when I was about 7, I was exploring the prairie that was across the street from where we lived, and we just thought it was a field, you know, we didn't know. And sun brightly shining down, meadowlark singing, I'm feeling very brave. I suddenly find myself in a gully looking directly at a badger hole. And a badger is this amazing animal that lives in the prairie. They dig holes about 9 inches across, dirt spilling out, mystery objects mixed in that dirt. It was the most, honestly, it was the most incredible experience of my life at that point, and it still might be. It was the first time that I had interacted with wildness in the wild. And I know that many of you will know what I'm talking about, but that moment when you're in an animal's place. It was one of those riveting moments when you realize for real that there's more than just you on this planet. You were in that animal's life space. That launched what I can only describe as a lifelong love affair with the native wild places of Nebraska. Our home here in eastern Nebraska, the Tallgrass Prairies. These memories mean the world to me, and at the same time that I feel my heart fill with love and appreciation for them, I feel it break into 1,000 pieces when I remember what's happened to these places. Most of the places where I played, they aren't doing that anymore. There's no meadowlarks singing, there's no badgers digging, and there's no amazing discoveries being made by kids. Stepping that up in scale, Tallgrass Prairie, our home, is the most threatened ecosystem in North America, and less than 2% of it remains. And grassland birds are declining faster than any other group of birds. We're about to be potentially the first modern North Americans that actually are going to lose their place. Their ecosystem will be completely destroyed. You know, place is how human cultures define themselves. It's where the roots of our culture come from. It's a necessary part of being human on this planet. There's nothing interesting at all about being from a location. It doesn't mean anything. The places where we're from is what means something, and we're close to losing it. Prairie isn't a drive-by landscape, it's an immersion. It's full of amazing plants and animals, things that make their home there. Whoops, the font got messed up. Were all the words doing that? I didn't notice it. And while this situation is a really tough one, there is great reason to hope. There's people thousands of people now that have pulled together to make sure Spring Creek Prairie Audubon Center, which is 18 miles from where we're standing right now, is still here. And we need these places. They tell us things about ourselves. It tells us that people still know that they're from a special place. They come from the Tallgrass Prairie. These places clean our air, they clean our water, they calm our nerves, they lower our blood pressure, they give us peace, and they remind us that we're part of an incredible web of life that's all across this planet. She also needs this place. This photograph was taken with a trip camera by Michael Forsberg about 1.5 years ago at Spring Creek Prairie, just 18 miles from where we are right now. We live with creatures like this. Isn't that the most incredible thing? We continue to make progress on these issues. Lincoln's now calling itself the Prairie Capital City. You can see that, it's on the city's website. And we keep trying to get them to put prairie pictures on there, and we haven't gotten it yet. If any of you have connections in that office, let me know so we can get those up there. It's always made my hair stand on end when I hear people from here, where I grew up, Nebraska, say, well, we don't have mountains, we don't have beaches, but you know, we got good people. Like, why on earth do we think we have to define ourselves by things we don't have? We have places like these photos I've just been showing you. They're all shot 18 miles from here. And in that quote on that earlier slide, Paul Grucco said, the prairie teaches us that grandeur can be wide as well as tall, and he's right. We need them not just for us, but for those kids we just saw on that slide. Ignites about ideas, and I have a great one. Let's all just fall in love with these wild places that we have. Create your own incredible experiences in nature and help work as hard as you can to make sure that they're still here for those next generations. I have information if you're interested. There's flyers at the door. Make a road trip out there. I invite all of you to come and make your own incredibly amazing experiences and discoveries in nature. Thank you.
Thanks, Marian. That was lovely. I've been out to Spring Creek Prairie, and it's a ride. It's so cool. You got to see it. It's about 85 acres of, original prairie and birds and Matt Harvey with binoculars. I'd like to see him grow genetically modified corn on it. Possible. Just rip that up, man. Pigs won't eat it, but so what?